Now, China did not participate physically, but they are bound because they gave their consent in advance. But China, even if it did not appear, it submitted a position paper. It submitted it to the tribunal. This is our position paper. And in that position paper, China said, Philippine territory is defined in 3 treaties. The 1898 Treaty of Paris, the 1900 Treaty of Washington, and the 1930 Treaty with the British demarcating our boundary in southern Philippines. So China said, those are the 3 treaties that define Philippine territory. We agree with China. In fact, it is in our constitution. China even quoted our constitution of 1935. Philippine territory is defined in 3 treaties. We completely agree with China that Philippine territory is defined in 3 treaties. But where is the difference? The second Treaty of Washington. Because in the Treaty of Paris of 1898, Spain ceded to the U.S. only the islands within the treaty lines. That's very clear. We admit that. But when the Americans came here, they found out that there were many islands belonging to the Philippine archipelago lying outside the lines of the Treaty of Paris. So they again talked to the Spaniards. They said, hey, there are many other islands outside the treaty lines. They negotiated and they signed the second treaty, the Treaty of Washington. And it says, there's only one article in the Treaty of Washington. There's one of the shortest treaties in the world. It says, Spain also cedes to the U.S. any and all island belonging to the Philippine archipelago lying outside the lines of the Treaty of Paris. Very clear. The second treaty clarified that all other islands belonging to the Philippine archipelago lying outside the lines were also ceded. China admits that Philippine territory is governed by the Treaty of Washington also. They're bound by that admission. And where do we find these islands belonging to the Philippine archipelago lying outside the line? You go to the 3 official maps of Philippine territory during the Spanish regime. 1734 Pedro Murillo Velarde map, you see there Panacot. Panacot is Bao de Masinloc, which is also called Scarborough Shoal. In the second official map of Philippine territory during the Spanish regime, you have the 1808 map. It's there, Bajo de Masinloc or Scarborough Shoal. And also, the rest of the Spratlys are there. The last official map of Philippine territory during the Spanish regime, the 1875 Carta General del Archipelago Filipino, it's there also. Scarborough Shoal and the entire Spratlys with depth soundings with names of specific features that are above water at high tide. And when the Americans came here, the map that they brought with them was totally wrong. They discarded that map and they adopted the 1875 Carta General of Spain. Exactly the same map. They put there War Department Office, 1901, 1902, 1899, 1900 map. 4 editions. So if you visited the Philippine Government Office in Manila in the 1910, 1920, 1930, you will see this map, the 1875 Carta General, as the map of Philippine territory, and you will see there's Scarborough Shoal with depth soundings, and then entire Spratlys are there with depth soundings. And in the very famous international case between Netherlands and the U.S. on Islas Palmas, they disputed who has sovereignty over Islas Palmas. That's an island off the coast of, in the southern tip of Mindanao. The first arbitration on territorial dispute in Asia was between the U.S. and Netherlands over an island in Mindanao. And the Americans, to prove that Islas Palmas belongs to the Philippines, submitted the 1875 Carta General. They said, this is the official map of Philippine territory during the Spanish regime and during the American regime. And that is why this map is very important, because it is the map that tells us Scarborough Shoal and the Spratlys have been part of Philippine territory since 1734. Thank you.
Thank you.